Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Koscki for the Dr. Subconscious Show. We are talking about law of attraction and thoughts are things. And I know it's a difficult concept for some people to get through their heads, but it's the truth. Any mental blocks that you believe are out there, you created them. So don't do it. And we're going to take a look at the anti-Illuminati people, because what kind of has happened to them, as whether or not you believe in the one world order as defined by President Bush, is that you can push so hard against them and you can destroy a lot of good stuff along the way. And that's what I want to report on, the good stuff that the anti-Illuminati people are tracking on. Alright, so first off, Illuminati, is it a bad thing? One world order, one government, one religion, blah blah blah. Well, if you look at local politics, and I did because I ran for city council here in Norco, and people just don't care. People are so apathetic. They will re-vote bad politicians to do a lousy job simply because they don't want to get involved. They don't want to take care of their own. So, ain't cool. Alright. Music business. Michael Jackson, a lot of other people will just totally destroy. That's my bird. The music business. Well, record companies, they record 10 albums, right? 3 of them they're going to make money on. The other 7 end up costing them so much money. It's just amazing. So you got to have the 3 pull the weight of the entire 10, and that costs a lot of extra cash. And if people like Michael Jackson, people in the music business really want to do well, then they should look to those new rising and overcome greed. And a lot of that is having to do with overcoming the ego. And of course, Denzel Washington, Robin Williams, and myself all will agree on one thing, and that is there's certain performances that you want to engage in by surpassing the ego. Because you remember I did this program, Devil versus the Ego. Most psychiatrists in this country and psychologists will agree that 99% of our problems come from internal, our own ego. And we create the devil to blame somebody else. But it's the ego that creates this entity and then hides behind it. And that's how tricky the ego is. That doesn't say that there's not a negative force out there that we know as Satan. But remember this one thing. Jesus gave us power over any demonic presence simply by using his name. Boom, and they're gone. So, alright. I think it's necessary sometimes when you're surpassing the ego, if you allow. Is it a spirit? Sure. Is it the Holy Spirit? I wouldn't know if it's the Holy Spirit, but I know it's not a dark spirit. So it must be the Holy Spirit that comes into our lives when we surpass our own ego. One of the things that really bothered me in the music business when I was growing up, I released an EP, an extended play, 4 songs. I look back and listen to it today and I think how brilliant these 4 songs were. And you know what? I couldn't get one person to help me out. Today's musician has the internet, hopefully. And they use the internet to market and to get your songs out there, so they have a lot better chance. And consequently, those people that are anti-Illuminati, well, guess what? We're no longer individuals. We're a network. And, if it is a big issue, then, we'll be taking care of that. Is there a military complex in this country? Absolutely. You look at Vietnam, Contras, Kuwait 1, Kuwait 2, Afghanistan. Absolutely. We want the oil. And so, you see stuff like, the attack on 9/11. Was that a terrorist attack or was that our own government? Well, I believe it was a terrorist attack because, we've been, taking their oil for so long, and, very few people have really had the chance to use the oil money, just a select few. Alright. So, Robin Williams, Denzel Washington, myself, will all surpass that ego, allow the spirit to come in to give a better performance, and a lot of that is just surpassing your own ego. Alright. And a lot of the anti-Illuminatis, this is where they get off, that is the work of the devil, allowing the spirit to come in. Well, it's not. I was there. I engineered this. I can tell you it's not true. And John Todd, who, he's an ex-witch or whatever, and he says hypnosis is bad. Well, you know what? Hypnosis helped a lot of people. It was basically got revved up here in this country after World War II to help guys get over being shell-shocked. And, you know, the church sanctions it, and in 1958, in 1959, the medical group in this country, you know, verified it. I'm a big fan of hypnosis. Edgar Cayce in the late 1800s was visited by an entity and said, hey, I can give you anything, what do you want? And he goes, well, I want to heal people. So Edgar Cayce is a very, very, very religious man. He read the Bible for every year he was alive. And that's pretty impressive. He didn't have the greatest education, well, but he ended up healed, or working with 14,000 different well-documented cases. All right, so we're talking about right now astral projection, out-of-body experience, past life regression, and remote viewing. And if you listen to the anti-Illuminati, this is all the work of the devil. Well, it's not. I have never, in the 30 years I've been doing this, I have never had a bad experience. I've never witnessed a bad experience. Okay, astral projection is basically leaving your body with your mind and visiting another place. Well, is that dangerous? You know, I never had an issue with it because I always took precautions. You know, I surround myself with white light, internal and external. Never had a problem. I mean, that's right out of the playbook from Dr. Goldberg here in LA. The guy's done millions of past life regression, out-of-body experience. The same thing as astral projection. You know, we visit certain places that perhaps are in our imagination, or perhaps they really exist. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that we are capable of raising our consciousness and raising our ability to deal with reality as we see it today. Past life regression. People suffering from exotic pains and using past life regression to go back into another period to see if this person was injured. Turns out they were, and we leave that in the past, come into today, and the pain is gone. So there you go. Keep in mind, hypnosis and meditation has very, very little difference. And, you know, prayer is how we talk to God. Meditation is how we listen. And the difference between that and hypnosis is hypnosis has an objective. Usually to get rid of cigarettes, to lose weight. I don't see the problem with it. I think it's great. You know, people think, well, you're turning yourself into a god. Well, yeah, that's the ego. The ego's always going to try to sell you on a bigger, better deal. And you know what? That's just part of growing up. That's just part of being real. All right? You are always going to be at the hands, or at the mercy of your own ego. Which, you know, 99% of your problems come from that area. All right. As you probably already know, remote viewing has a lot of similarities to automatic writing, which can be related to the work of the devil. Absolutely. And again, take precaution. Surround yourself with white light, internal, external. Don't do it without it. All right. Stage performances I already talked about. I believe it was the Holy Spirit, or spirit of some positive spirit of some kind. Auras. Looking at auras. You know, is it necessary to see the energy force around another person? Not really. You know, you get an idea of what their mood is like, what they're like, but it doesn't matter. You don't really need to do that. So, is it safe? I've never heard of a bad case. So, take precautions if you're going to do it. Pendulum, which is basically just swinging that thing back and forth for a yes or no, based on your own subconscious. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it really, really works. You know, biggest problem with that is people don't believe their own subconscious. Psychic stuff. Alright, tarot cards. Yeah, they're inherently dangerous. And it's probably not a good idea to be looking back and forth. A lot of people do it. You know, surround yourself with white light, internal and external. And you might want to just pass that one up. Shamanism, it's not for everybody. There's very, 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 very few people who can actually do it successful, and they've been chosen. So, the Bible said this one man was clairvoyant, and when they released the devil out from under, or they released the demon out from his life, he could no longer see into the future. So, you know, that stuff is true. You do see some problems with it. My name's John Koscki. This has been the Dr. Subconscious Show. I want to thank you. Hang out. See you next time. Peace.